All right, so we're going to start a new subject. We're going to explore a couple of pieces of davening for Shabbos. Mostly the classes focus on the part we sing in Shabbos morning. It says, Ein Aroch Lecha, Hashem Elokeinu b'olam hazeh, v'en zulat chamalkeinu lecha yehu olam haba, etc. You know this part? Ein Aroch Lecha, Hashem Elokeinu. You sing, Jason, or no?
Of course.
Ba'olam.
Yeah, this room in the morning now. I haven't seen this room in the morning.
Okay. So we're going to get there. Now, we start with the story. This is a very, very, very famous story, but it has a postscript. For sure, if you heard the story, you haven't heard the postscript. So it says the Alter Rebbe passed away. This is like 1812-ish, something like that. And the Alter Rebbe, the Alter Rebbe's son, moved to Lubavitch. And the Tzemach Tzedek, the Alter Rebbe's grandson, who was the nephew of the Alter Rebbe and the son-in-law of the Alter Rebbe, keep up with the tree, he was there too. And it was happened that for a long time, the Tzemach Tzedek was a bit stressed because he hadn't seen his grandfather for a long time. Meaning his grandfather who passed away, he used to interact with him after he passed away, but for a long time, he hadn't seen him. And he was a bit stressed about this. And he said that one morning, he took his talis and tefillin and went to shul. And on the way there was the Lubavitcher butcher stopped him and said, Reb Mendel, today is market day. And I haven't got a penny to buy merchandise so I can sell and make some money. If you can lend me 3 rubles so I can buy a calf, and then hopefully, I can shecht it and sell it, etc. And so I'll give it back to you either tonight or tomorrow. After I sell it, I'll give it back. The Tzemach Tzedek says, I don't have the money with me, but after I daven, for sure, I'll lend it to you, no problem. Okay. So the Tzemach Tzedek keeps going to shul. Then he realizes that perhaps after davening, it's going to be too late. It's not like he davens at 6:45 and it's done by 7:30. He might daven a little bit longer. It takes him a little longer. He says, by the time I finish and I go give it to him, maybe he won't find a calf for 3 rubles. No? It's going to be too late. As he was thinking this, he already had his talis on, but not his tefillin. As he was thinking this, without his talis and tefillin, he just ran back home. He grabbed money, and then he ran to look for the butcher, and he gave him the money. And then he went to shul. He was a bit late. He says, this guy needed the money now. And then he starts getting ready to daven, and before he finishes putting on his talis and tefillin, the Alter Rebbe appears to him. And they can have a conversation like they couldn't for a while. And it's like he realizes in the merit of having done the mitzvot tzedakah that he was able to see the Alter Rebbe. Now the Rebbe Rashav, the 5th Chabad Rebbe, the grandson of the Tzemach Tzedek, made a comment about this story. And he said that despite all the efforts that the Tzemach Tzedek had made, the Alter Rebbe didn't appear to him. But by virtue of a favor to a fellow Jew, doing Kabbalat Chassidim, doing acts of kindness, immediately he was granted the possibility of seeing his grandfather. And then the Rebbe Rashav concluded, I once did a fellow Jew a favor involving a mere 25 rubles, and the concept of Ein Aroch Lecha, of this part of davening that I mentioned settled firmly in my mind, and then he was able to deliver a Chassidic discourse on it. And you probably heard the first part of this story, because the rabbi has mentioned it many times, but this postscript, that because of this, the Rebbe Rashav once did something, and he understood finally the piece of davening that we're going to talk about today because of loaning someone 25 rubles.
Tzemach means plant, doesn't it? In Hebrew.
Tzomech.
Where do you get that name from? Why'd they call it that?
Tzemach is also like sprouting.
Oh.
The Gemara says, I will say this, I will not have any big discussions on this. At least not today, so we don't not sidetrack it. The Gemara talks about where Mashiach is coming from. If he's from the living, he's this guy. If he's from the people who have passed away, he's going to be that guy. And then he starts talking about what's the name of Mashiach. And one of the names it says is Menachem. And then it says also Tzemach, which is the same gematria as Menachem.
Okay.
So the Tzemach Tzedek, he wrote a sefer, and his name was Menachem Mendel, and the gematria Menachem Mendel is the same gematria as Tzemach Tzedek. So, kind of stuck, I would assume after he was no longer here,
Oh, I see.
it kind of stuck like his name is the Tzemach Tzedek because of one of the books he published. And he's the third Chabad Rebbe, the grandson of the first Rebbe, the son-in-law and nephew of the second Rebbe, and the grandfather of the fifth Rebbe,
That's the Rashab.
the Rashab, which obviously means he was the father of the fourth Rebbe. Okay. So what's the text? The text is Ein Aroch Lecha Hashem Elokeinu ba'olam hazeh. In this world there is no one compared to Hashem, my God. Ve'en zulatcha malkeinu lecha ha'olam haba. And there is no one at the level of our King in the world to come. Efes biltecha goaleinu limot Mashiach. There's nothing, zero, besides you, our Redeemer in the time of Mashiach. And how does it finish? And there's nothing compared or nothing similar to you, our Mashiach, our Redeemer, also a kind of different word, or in the time of the resurrection of the dead. Yes? Here, I'll find it for you. You get stressed out if you don't have the text and then can make analysis. You don't know where it is? A little more. A little less.
Yeah.
Here, right at the end. Okay. Okay, so this is a part of davening Shabbos. It says it's in the part before the Shema. And back when I prepared this class, which was, I don't know when, 2017, 18 or whatever, based on a sefer I read, like this song, Ein Aroch Lecha, I always had issues with it. I always had issues with the text of this part of davening that we sang. So, okay, what is the big deal? Why I says there's nothing in this world, in the world to come, is this, that? It says, of course, Hashem is infinite, Ein Sof. Hashem is everything. What's the big deal to get excited? It says there's no one like you in this world, or in the world to come, or in the times of Mashiach, or in the times of the Tchias HaMeisim. No. Why is that like such a special thing to say? Yes, there's nothing compared to Hashem. And then we say there's no Redeemer like you. I don't know. This doesn't bother you? Or you never paid attention to it?
Both. Didn't pay that much attention, but it doesn't bother me.
So what's the big excitement? There's no one like you, Hashem, in this world. Shkoyach.
But that's the whole Siddur says that.
Yeah,
Why?
right.
Why?
It's the purpose of the Siddur.
You have to back up what you're saying. Where in the Siddur does it
He's
say
a
that?
God. He's one. There's nothing like him.
Okay, that's Shema Yisrael, which if you understand it deeply means Hashem is the only thing that exists. So why are we going through this progression? There's no one like you here, and no one like you there. So, but maybe by the time of the resurrection of the dead, maybe there's someone like you. No. Why do we need to add this little? It's an added part that is not on the weekday prayer, and we add it on Shabbos. You saying the whole Siddur says the same thing.
It's all one exaltation after another.
Yeah,
so
right.
so I don't get your question.
You'd have to knock out.
So you're saying, after learning davening with me for like a year and a half, it's just a random poetry we're just saying to Hashem.
I'm sure it's not.
No.
This is based on the fact there's a reason behind it, and when I read it, it's like, what's the big deal? Hashem is everything.
Why do you have to have specifics? No.
Why is this not here? There's no one like you in the United States, nor in North America, nor in planet Earth, nor in the whole universe. It's like, shkoyach.
I think it's just a reminder of all these different aspects.
So it's like you say, you know what, Shabbos davening needs to be a little bit longer, and we need a nice song. Let's just put something else, just in case you forgot. Okay. We're not going to answer this question today, nor tomorrow,
Okay.
because we need some context to get there.
Okay.
You want me to answer today? We can. If we don't daven, we keep learning for an hour, we'll get there. But if you're stressed out that
No,
they have
you're-
7 minutes left,
No,
then
you're leaving a cliffhanger, so that we come to future classes. I get it. I
Very
get
clever.
you.
Smart.
okay. To understand this, we have to first go back to the beginning of Shabbos. The beginning of Shabbos, Friday night, we start praying Lechu Neranena,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Kabbalat Shabbat starts with Lechu Neranena.
Mm-hmm.
Primero Dios. And technically, the beginning of Shabbos starts with 6 Tehillims, 6 Psalms, 95 through 99, plus Psalm 29. 95, 96, 97, 99, and Psalm 29. Yes?
Don't they specials start with like 23 or something on Friday night?
23? We say 23 later.
More like a beat or something?
We say that later, right almost at the end of Friday night. There are some shuls that also say Psalm 100, Mizmor Letoida. We don't say it, but I remember Sfardim say it. And now they say, why is it 6? Why is it 6 specifically? Because it's one for each day of the week. It's like we're going into Shabbos, so we say these 6 Tehillims, and then we get to Lecha Doidi. It says, well, welcome Shabbos. We went to Sunday, Monday, blah, 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 and then we go to Lecha Doidi. And the idea is we're trying to cut away slowly the klipa, the negative side, the impurity of the week, to try and start getting into Shabbos mode. Cut away the negativity of each day and try to come in clean into Shabbos, where we're going to elevate the whole week with us, everything we did. And as we know, what happens on Shabbos is Aliyat Ha'olamot, the elevation of the worlds. The worlds go into a different level for 25 hours or so. And so we're trying to get into that mood. So it's not just, we're just going to praise Hashem. Why not? So no, we're specific. Why are these 6 chapters said? There's specific reasons. Now, if this is the case, then why do we skip these when we have a Shabbos on Chol HaMoed or Yom Tov? When it's Shabbos Chol HaMoed or Shabbos Yom Tov, we skip Lechu Neranena. We go straight to Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Hashem, Bnei Elim, which is Psalm 29. So we skip 95 through 99 and we go straight to 29. Why is that? Some people say because it's Yom Tov and we need to be happy, so we're gonna shorten a bit the davening. It's too long. So we shorten it a bit if it's a Friday night that is Chol HaMoed or Yom Tov. Others say no, because we know that in Lecha Doidi, when it's Yom Tov or Chol HaMoed, there's a part where we say from Rina to Simcha. Yeah? At the end of Lecha Doidi, Boi b'shalom ateret baila, gam berina ubetzahala. But on Yom Tov or Chol HaMoed we say gam besimcha ubetzahala. So we take away the rina and we put simcha. And what's the second word of these psalms that we take away? Lechu neranena. Rina. Here we're going to, it's one of the words that means to sing, anyways. So some people say because we're changing from Rina to Simcha, so we have to skip. The Rebbe explains that it's not correct to mix up the days of Choil with Yom Tov. So it's not the same to have a Shabbos on coming out of a regular day than a Shabbos coming out mixed with Chol HaMoed or Yom Tov. And so we do skip 95 to 99 because we are not, when that's the situation, so it's not the same jump. We don't need to go necessarily through Sunday, Monday, But we don't skip 29 because 29 is Erev Shabbos. 29 is Yom HaShishi, Erev Shabbos, which is the day of preparation for Shabbos. So we skip 95 through 99, but we don't skip Psalm 29. So that's just some technical information. So with this, what we're going to do, we're going to start a tiny bit today, and we're going to do tomorrow, with or without your presence. We're going to start analyzing Lechu Neranena, which is somehow going to help us eventually answer or understand better the Ein Aroch Lecha. Time.
David's usually more accurate. I got 6:40.
Your Apple Watch doesn't work?
It probably does.
It's like you're looking everywhere for the time. You have it on
So it goes, you got 6:42?
No, it's 6:40.
Ooh.
This is the official time.
My watch is fast, okay. I just had the battery replaced.
Okay, we'll just do 30 seconds. So again, this Lechu Neranena, which is Tehillim number 95, corresponds to Sunday, first day of creation. That's why we're going to see there are various psukim that hint or talk about creation itself. But before that, as David says, this is the only thing that davening says, we first make a call for people to praise Hashem. Yeah? So we say, come, let us sing praises to the Lord. Let us shout to the rock of our salvation. Let us greet his presence with thanksgiving. Let us shout to him with songs. For the Lord is a great God and a great King over all the divine power, over all divine powers. And then it starts talking about creation, and then it gets with other subjects. We're going to talk about Mashiach. We're going to bring some Gemaras. We're going to get our hands dirty until we eventually come back and explain Lechu Neranena, Ein Aroch. That's kind of the plan. Hopefully you can sleep tonight.
What's that? What is sleep?
I sleep, Baruch Hashem, until I have to wake up, but I sleep. Okay, all the best.